In the Fort Hood shooting, we've learned more about Specialist Ivan Lopez, the gunman who killed 3 soldiers and wounded 16 before taking his own life. Lots of questions about his mental state. We know he was on medication for depression, anxiety, sleeping problems, and that he was being evaluated for PTSD. Now, with MacDill here, 2 veterans hospital, and countless other civilians dealing with similar issues, we want to talk about resources that we have available to all of us. Tony Williams, Jr., retired Army now. You are the President of Veterans Counseling Veterans Program. Dr. Diego Hernandez, thank you for being here. Head of a clinical trial right now going on at USF to treat PTSD. And Anna Aloisi, President of the Suncoast Mental Health Council Association. And Tony, let's start with you, because you were actually stationed at Fort Hood.
Yes.
First of all, God bless to everyone having to go through this twice now. What was the group that you started, and why did you start it? Was it directly related to when you were stationed there?
Yes, in fact, I was having a company commander at Fort Hood, in fact, Garrison Command, which is the largest company in the Army. And so I kind of really understood what the reaction of not just the Fort Hood community, but the military itself when this second incident happened again. And this is what I formed this company, because I believe that this company is staffed with military veterans and spouses of military veterans who are in the behavioral health field. And then we can then be able to walk, so this incident happened on a military post outside of the VA's jurisdiction. So what my company does is we actually be able to both help the DOD and as well as VA.
So you kind of bridge the gap here.
Bridge the gap, yes, sir.
Dr. Hernandez, is this the important thing, having groups acknowledge that this exists and talking about it? Because the work that you're doing right now, you have a program called ART, and that's Accelerated Resolution Therapy. How does that focus on this?
If you look at PTSD, one of the main symptoms is reliving the memories, re-experiencing the memories. This is a very short-term approach, 3 to 5 sessions, designed to specifically target the memory and work through the memory. It's one way to look at it is it's a failure of the memory to integrate with our personal history. And so what we do is we work with people intensively and work through that memory, and it helps to relieve the symptoms significantly.
Anna, what are some of the programs here that you'd like to talk about that are available to everyone?
Well, first of all, it's very important that Dr. Hernandez was mentioning earlier to seek help right away. One way is to seek counselors throughout the community. You know, the Suncoast Mental Health Counselors Association is a great way to look counselors who specialize in PTSD. There is the Crisis Center, which has a 24/7 hotline that provides resources for individuals who are struggling with symptoms of PTSD, not just for veterans. There's a lot of information about veterans, but anybody could suffer from PTSD. And there's a lot of individuals in our community that are not veterans who are also struggling with PTSD. And their number is 211. 24/7 hotline. They will speak with you and give you the resources that you qualify for to get the help that you need immediately.
Is this the most important thing, acknowledging that it is an issue that we have to deal with?
Absolutely.
You know, how do we do that? You know, are there warning signs? You know, what are we looking at here?
I think first thing is we have to start with when the guys are in the military active duty before they belong to VA. So we have to start changing some of the structures in the DOD first. For example, when a soldier has a broken leg or something, we already have a mechanism around to help make sure that soldier doesn't put pressure on that leg, profiles, things to help the soldier out until he mends. We need the same kind of system approach for mental health illness. If this guy has a mental health illness, we need to make sure that we eliminate the stressors that are around him. So when it comes to a new unit, we've already got things set up to take care of that particular incident.
Doctor, we were talking about this. It's important for those of us who are not in that situation to acknowledge this as well, though, in that we were talking about the example earlier before the camera was on us about a soldier, you know, coming back from a situation where he has seen things that the average person just has not seen, and all of a sudden being thrown back into the real world where he's being, you know, told, hey, why haven't you taken out the garbage? Mm-hmm. It's hard to bridge the gap, isn't it?
Well, it's easier if somebody has lost a limb or they're in a wheelchair, and then you're not going to be walking with them down the street saying, hurry up, you're taking too much time. You know, these are injuries that are something that impacts someone's ability to tolerate typical everyday stress. And then you combine that with making a transition back to civilian life. and dealing with the things that you've experienced that have changed you as an individual. And if you can get through those memories and work through them, and then that frees up a lot of your resources to deal with the stress of transition and deal with the changes in life that naturally come with returning to civilian life.
Anna, what's the most important thing for a family to deal with as a whole?
I would say the impact that the person who is struggling with PTSD has within the relationships, you know, like there's a lot of irritability and shortness, and I think a lot of times what I hear is that families feel guilty about it. Maybe I did something wrong, you know, so they try to get really involved and like trying to make everything perfect, and maybe they're not really seeing like some of the symptoms. You know, this person just got done through or going through a very traumatic experience or impactful experience, and a lot of times those things are overlooked, and it's about the relationships, and where I believe that the family struggle with is like that relating to that individual and trying to continue their duties and roles as a family member, and I think that's the most affected in the case of the unit, the family unit.
Anna, Dr. Hernandez, Tony, thank you very much for your insight, and thanks for being here.
Well, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Inviting us.